This is Justin AMZN for Thursday, March 19th, 2020. Zoomed out on the 5 minute, just looking back at this wedge that I drew in here. And we broke out bullish. Actually, really nicely opened up a little bit below inside of this, chopped around a little bit after hours and pre-market, and then had a really nice breakout. So we'll zoom in on this. But let me jump into the daily real quick and just show you. So we had a really nice gap up and open above this wick, above this wick. I was just talking about the resistance at this price. The resistance played out and it was a bullish retest gap. So it retested from this resistance right up here at 1863.84. And yeah, we'll just zoom in because it'll be easier to see just looking at today. So opened up right below that line and came back down, really consolidated really nicely for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and then started to break out. Had a really nice high wave candle right above this, kind of X marks the spot from the wedge. Broke out, just continued to run. It just ran right on through these lines. Chopped around quite a bit above 1900, going back and forth between 1900 and 1925 a few times, broke out. Some people were still buying way up here, even though really you missed the move. This would have been a great place. It kind of turned into a double top. Great place to go bearish. Had no idea it was going to sell off like this, and looked like, oh no, it's collapsing. And this is probably just just probably some people locking in gains and going into tomorrow, which is, I believe, quadruple witching, monthly expiration, a lot of things happening tomorrow. So expect more volatility or continued volatility. But just look at this move. We came from this line down here, this uptrend channel here, and ran up almost straight up into just about this level. I mean, if we make the high up here, that'd be a great place to look to lock in profits, look at opportunities to go bearish, getting into puts. Obviously, we could continue. We could just continue running up. Let's say it's all over, everything's great, it's all better, or at least Amazon is going to help us get there, and it continues running. Great. I'm going to miss some of that because I'm still a little more bearish now. It's a great opportunity to get out of longs. I know some folks did that today, and we just had a really nice run up. I would not be surprised if we had an inside candle, kind of like this one. Again, a little more bearish, and just a lot of volatility. I don't know exactly where we're going to open. I never do, obviously. We broke down. Sorry, I zoomed out too far. We broke down here, then went sideways. Looked like we were kind of doing a little S curve thing here, another S curve. And I haven't looked at where the futures are at right now. Last I looked, it was going up a little bit. So we actually could gap up from here into the upper wick, and then look for some of these pivots to kind of continue to be pivots. If we come right back up to 1925 and kind of hold that, that was where I had kind of seen the potential that we could have kind of some of this wedge playing out. But I mean, the wedge doesn't work, but still having some confluence over here around this price, and now resistance today playing out, it could really hold there. I don't know really what to do with this channel. I can extend it up here, but it doesn't really hold. It doesn't line up with this upper wick. Didn't really hit anything really in here today. I'm just going to leave it right there for now. It held at this kind of channel I drew in here, trying to get some of these highs. It held as the support in here today. Again, it's just where you have multiple points kind of multiple prices coming together or lines coming together and suggesting that, okay, there's more than just one thing. The 1900, both these lines acting as resistance a while back, turned into some support today, a hammer in here that comes down, almost wicks into this. It just adds to the case that, hey, this looks great right here. This was a great opportunity to buy. And it was. It just didn't run up as far as it did if you had bought down in here. So yeah, there were opportunities, lots of opportunities for bulls, and then towards the end of the day for the bears. For the bulls, this is the 1950 call that we've been looking at for a bit. Nice high wave candle, really large candle. It rested a bit, pulled back some. It would have been tough. This strike, it went in the money today, and we've been talking about this strike. I mean, this a couple days ago, it was worth, I can't even see what that price is. Oops, not what I wanted to do. This kind of thing for absolute zero plays. Okay, 21. It was 21 bucks over here. Now you wouldn't have bought at 21, but maybe you bought at like $1 over here, and you got out of some up here, and you got back in for like $1 there. Yesterday it was $1, and today went in the money. Crazy. Not so crazy in this market, but towards the end of the day, yesterday, where we're having some of this choppiness, I mean, getting into something, risking profits, big profits on something like this. If you got in over here for $1 and got out at $4, and then you go and risk, 2 or 3 of that, and you get in over here and you get out at 10 or 12, and you take 4 of that, and I kind of call that compounding gains. And you can keep doing that. Obviously, there's more risk involved, so you don't want to take the whole thing, but take a portion of it. Anyway, yeah. Obviously, the other way is to keep your risk the same every trade, and it's a lot easier to kind of gauge where you're at. On some of these, there's still opportunities to buy low. Just at this point, looking further out of the money because of what we did today. Unless you planned on having a swing trade and holding it into expiration and doing it as an absolute zero, totally works as well. You're just not locking in on these gains, or you are because you have a target. Anyway, some really good opportunities today on pullbacks. You could have been getting in, but these ranges are really, really wide, and the spreads are really wide too. So probably going out a little further. But I just want to show this one because we've been looking at it this week, and here it is running up and getting the money. Obviously taking profits right at 1925. I'm sorry, I said it went in the money. It didn't go in the money. I misspoke. I'm sorry. We ran into 1925. We're still 25 points out of the money, but because of the volatility, it looks like we're in the money. Sorry, I was saying it backwards from what I was thinking. We were at 1925 with the 1950 strike. I had it backwards in my head for a minute there. Sorry, I was thinking we were at the 1925 strike, and looking like we were up by 25 would look like we were in the money, up around 1950. We didn't get up to 1950. We got close. 1945 was the high in here. Okay, sorry, I misspoke about that. And then looking over at the puts, just continue to just get drained all day. Still pretty expensive in here, 10. This is the 1850 that with the sell-off we got towards the end of the day. Still, the range on some of these candles was pretty large. This one was still about $1. The lows in here around 650, 7, so, but it more than doubled into the close as it rolled over. So again, 1850 would have been tough to just be trading that strike with $100 risk, and so going a little further out or something would have helped to kind of lessen that risk there. So let's see, 1800. What did 1800 do? I got rid of so much of this stuff that went so high. So over in here, as it's it's starting to roll over like half an hour and towards the end of the day. So buying like 3 by 2 looked like it could have worked, and that went up 2R. So you're way out of the money, but it still was something that could have worked out today. So just a really sharp sell-off, even getting into something on this kind of retest or consolidation right here. Bearish candle looked almost like a bullish engulfing. Is it? The high was 3 cents higher here than here, and then broke down. So getting in below that low, It's already moving that direction. It's starting to show, okay, it's pausing up here. It's already run up so far today. So, but keeping an eye on this bullish. I was looking for a place for it to roll over late morning and just didn't see it happening. I was tied up all afternoon, and then I was driving during part of the no. What was it? Yeah, I was driving for part of this, and it's like, oh, I think it's going now, and I just wasn't able to get in and catch this move back down. So anyway, interesting what we could be setting up for. We have a much further distance here to fall back to retest the low down here. If in fact we get back down there, I still think we do. We had a retest that came back up to the 21. Interestingly, we closed right about at the 21 today, and I mean, it's still a lot of buying in here. I don't know that. Let me do this. We've done this kind of thing before. We've run up, and it's kind of like, okay, this feels like we went too far up. So was it over here? I keep comparing things back to this. Yeah, so this was a good example. We ran up, didn't get to the 21, rolled back down, ran up, got through the 21, and then got up a little higher. We're contending with the same consolidated area, and we started to roll back over, and that's where we pushed and made the next low. And for Amazon, that in fact made lower highs. I mean, this was already a lower high. It just was a relatively, close lower high, relative high. This was really where we made a lower high here, and then a clear lower low, and then repeated and made another lower low. And I think we're setting up for something like this. Again, following this channel, we ran back up from this to this in like 4 days here. We just beat that out. We did it in 2 days to this one, and basically 3 days from this one up to here. Now we didn't actually touch it, but I would anticipate some high wave candle up here or inside candle, a pop up, trap some more bulls, and then something rolling over either into next week or into early April, and be back down here sometime in April. If we're back down here by the end of the month, that would be by the 31st. We could have much further to go down, but we're going to wait and see what happens into tomorrow and into next week before we kind of speculate too far on that. But like I said, I hope that the perspective that I've been talking about in here of these lines, these areas, you've been able to lock in some gains on its way back up. If you were buying down here, or if you were trapped in positions with this massive sell-off, there's a lot of things that have sold off much further. This is like a retracement of almost 50%, or it may be 50%. I haven't done the math on this. We're like 22 down to like 16. So the middle of that would be 19. We pushed past 19. So rough numbers, we retraced 50%. I don't think very much of the other things I've seen having sold off have retraced by 50% of the sell-off. So Amazon is very fortunate in that case. If there's much more downside, there's a lot further for this to go. So I'll be looking for bullish bearish day trades, and looking for protection with puts on the way down, if in fact we do head down. So that we'll have to see. It's just really, I mean, it's so much faster and really reminiscent of that last one back over here, which I have videos on, and I haven't even gone back to go back through my videos and rewatch things from this. So if you do, let me know. Shoot me an email at justinamazontrades@gmail.com, and let me know what you think of what was going on in here. And yeah, we'll see how similar it is. The consolidation we had here, and then a rollover, and then the retracement back up, it feels like we're really close to this kind of stuff in relation to where it was here. So consolidation, a little more bullish in the consolidation. There's a lot of bullish candles in here, which means a lot of people are still buying all of this. And if we get back down here, we're going to trap a lot of bulls. I mean, a lot of bulls. Just have to wait and see. Hope this helps. This is Just Amazon. Thanks.